Hi, Dr. P here, and I'm going to answer a question that I saw in Quora, and in the course of that, point out, I hope, something that's very important to game designers. The question was, what's the best strategy for rock, paper, scissors to achieve the highest win rate possible? Well, my answer was that there's no best strategy. In fact, there's not really a strategy at all for an entirely random game, except to resort to randomness yourself. So the best way to play rock, paper, scissors is to have some randomizer and pick each of the choices 1/3 of the time. If you do that, you'll maximize your minimum gain according to game theory. And if the other player is trying to do tricks like reading your mind and so on, then they're not going to do better. They're probably going to do worse. Now, of course, we're talking long term here. In short term, one try or best 2 out of 3, that won't necessarily be so. Nonetheless, you still should follow that strategy. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, because it's a random game. Now, you and I both know a lot of people, when they play rock, paper, scissors, they try to turn it into something of a mind game rather than a randomizer, which is what it's intended to be. It's just a randomizer. It's like flipping a coin. So they try to use Yomi to read the intentions of their opponent, to outguess them, to think, well, he's going to play rock this time, so I'll play paper and beat him. And you know, some people are very good at Yomi in certain situations, but that's not going to work if the other player is playing the proper game theory strategy. It's only going to work if the other player is also trying to use Yomi or is simply not paying attention to what they're doing and becoming predictable. So the random method will succeed against the Yomi method, and the Yomi method might succeed against other people playing Yomi. Now, the lesson here is that many people want to imagine that there's some secret formula for success, both in games and in anything else in life. Sometimes, in fact, most of the time, there isn't. And in the case of a random game, there very definitely isn't a secret formula. It's random. All you can do is respond randomly. And the closer you respond to completely randomly, the better off you'll be. Now, game designers have to understand that. If a game designer thinks that he can play rock, paper, scissors and generally do better than the other players, he doesn't know what he's talking about. If the other players know what they're doing. Now, if they don't know what they're doing, maybe he can take advantage. But if they know what they're doing and play the random strategy, it's even Steven, 50-50 in the long run. And there are other situations like that, where in a game, there's no strategy that's going to help make it better. You're just going to do something random. I think this is an important thing to realize. I don't know, maybe people just naturally realize it or not. But there's an awful lot of game designers who don't really understand games very well, I'm afraid. And sometimes that doesn't get in the way, and sometimes it does. Thanks for listening.